Shalawam. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto YAHAWAH BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors unto all apostles and elders of Great Millstone. SHALAWAAM, Barakyam. Peace and blessings to all of elect. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. Shalom, shalom. All right, hey, shalom. Let me know if there's any sound. Do a test here. All right, hey, shalom. Let me know if there's any sound. Yeah, man. So just dealing with some typical difficulties. Lord willing, the sound is good and everything is good. Yeah, man. So, if not, then I'll just have to do do the lesson about the collapsing dollar, the BRICS nation, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. You know, and I got some articles here, and of course we're gonna bring out those precepts, the water, brothers, the water. And as always, Lord willing, this is edifying. To the hopeful elect, the sheep out there. Because that's what it's all about, man. The feeding the sheep. The Lord said, "If you love me, feed my sheep." This is Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 18. All right, it reads, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Okay, and every year they have so-called Pride Month where they let these alphabet people run amok. And this year, they were saying chants about how they're coming for the children. So this is a very prideful kingdom that we live in. All right, and the hearts of man is proud. The hearts of woman is proud, but that pride is going to bring much trouble. You know. All right. So this first article I want to get is 7. Everything is good. You know. It says Alexander, Russian State Duma deputy speaker, has said that Russia, together with fellow BRICS members and other African countries, are discussing the creation of a new global currency that could challenge the US dollar's dominance and become analogous to the euro for non-Western states. Okay, so pretty much they're saying this BRICS dollar is going to be comparable to the euro. Okay. But if you have been seeing these different, let me shut this real quick. You've been seeing these different TikToks, which I'm going to play information. But what now is coming out is how that one, you know, one USD or one US dollar, which we know is not really worth anything because it's not backed by anything. It's not backed by gold or silver like these BRICS nations are trying to do their currency, right? $100.
Everybody that lives
So I'm going
in
to
the
play
United
this.
States
Baba Kushal, let me know how the audio is.
Of the dollar. I need you to listen to me right now. So if you haven't been hearing this rumor of $1 equals to 55 brick dollars, right? So this was true. So I go to Coinbase to see and add it up, and 93 cents equals to this. Yeah, that means that a loaf of bread is going to be $20. Y'all remember when they said our dollar dropped, right? We already gave y'all the warning on August 1st, bro. This is not a game, nor is it a drill. In a couple days, shit already gave.
Yeah, man. So, you know, shit is about to get real. All right. So, what people, the collapse of the dollar, which is then going to bring about chaos in the streets, you know? So I got another video.
Deputy Chairman of Russia's State Duma, Alexander Babakov, told reporters that the BRICS alliance, which stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is creating a new currency that will be backed by gold, rare earth metals, and other critical commodities. BRICS will likely take up the task of creating this new currency at the next BRICS summit in late August. While there's still a lot of things we don't know about the currency, the announcement alone is a huge development. Since 1945, the US dollar has been the world reserve currency, meaning it acts as the standard currency for all international payments. This means that if Japan wants to trade with Thailand, they wouldn't pay each other using yen or baht, they would use the US dollar. The dollar is exclusively conducted in dollars. What this means is that every country in the world needs a constant supply of dollars on hand to buy oil and other critical.
Right, which they refer to as the petrodollar, you know, which that's pretty much they call that black or liquid gold, if you will, you know. So now that that's, you know, pretty much being done away with, you know, what's there the, you know, the dollar doesn't hold anything. It's called fiat currency, which means pretty much fake or false, you know. We're not even using real money, man. Real money, real substance is gold, silver, land, crops, things of that nature, you know?
Goods, and to acquire those dollars, they have to manufacture real goods and sell them to the US or some other country that acquired dollars from the US. The United States, on the other hand, can print dollars, meaning they can essentially go into debt for free. Economist Barry Eichengreen describes it as the following. It costs only a few cents for the Bureau of Engraving and Printing to produce a $100 bill. But other countries have to pony up $100 of actual goods and services in order to obtain one. The other thing is that since the world financial system was set up by the US and relies so heavily on the dollar, the US also has the power to exclude countries from the international financial system. The US controls SWIFT, the international payment system, which basically functions as the blood vessels of the world financial system. The US has weaponized SWIFT by banning countries it doesn't like from it, like Cuba, Iran, and North Korea. The US also takes advantage of the fact that many countries store their foreign reserves in US banks and dollar-denominated assets. The most brazen example of this was after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, when the US froze over $600 billion of gold and foreign reserves held in US and EU banks, making Russia unable to pay its foreign debts. So how would a new BRICS currency change this? Well, the US has the power to print money and unilaterally exclude and punish countries because the world relies on the dollar. But if enough countries make the collective decision to abandon the dollar and rally around new currencies that the US doesn't control, the US wouldn't have the power to manipulate the world financial system like it does now. Skeptics often say that no currency will replace the dollar but the 5 BRICS countries alone represent a whopping 40% of the world's population. If you add the countries that are applying for BRICS membership,
that's enough. That's point has been made. I have some other videos and articles. It has a lot of good information. Now, back in the first articles from RussiaBriefing.com, says Russia says BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, these different nations currently developing an alternative. Okay. Babakov stated that having passed the test of Western sanctions, okay, which is why these other nations are so, they pretty much hate this place. Besides the fact that he saw, he oppresses a man in his heritage. He goes around taking people's countries, land, displacing the landmarks, changing the names of the nations and the people. So nobody wants to deal with him, man. That's why he's being chased out of South Africa. Okay. Moscow is ready to take on a new role in the world order and together with partners undermine the hegemony of the US, outlining new trends into international. 55 African countries all attended the Russia African Summit last week. That's Ezekiel 38. Russia is being as a guard unto these other nations. Matter of fact, let's get that really quick. Because the prophecy is that Ham, which those are Hermetic nations, right? Ham going back to Shem, Ham, and Japheth, which us so-called black people, Negroes, we do not go back to the sons of Ham, but they are a lot of the Israelites, so-called Negroes or African Americans, what they call us in America. They are scattered still to this day in Africa. Okay. Those Africans, they don't like us. They refer to us as a kata, which is them mocking us, calling us kat. So yes, there's a lot of our people scattered all over the world, man, even in Africa. But those different African nations, things of that nation, those are the sons of Ham. It's prophesied they will get up with Edom, Gog and Magog, because there is Ezekiel 38 and 1. Let me make sure the audio is still good. It's Ezekiel 38 all right, good. And 1. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, set up his men as prophets to go out and to declare the destruction, because that's what it's leading up to, when Russia will play a major part in that coming destruction. Okay, or the coming destruction. And say, thus said YAHAWAH BAHASHAM power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. So the Most High is against them too, because they're all sons of Idumean. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy Ukraine situation, which Ukraine is a former part or a piece of land that Russia possessed, which now they're pretty much coming back for. Okay? It says, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, and they're in a different spirit over there, man. All right? That UFC fighter Khabib, more like raw spirit on him, not compared to the ease of the USA, if you will. We do have to speak in code to some degree. Okay. And all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Okay, so that military is beefed up, man. All right. And the nukes that they possess, well, let's just say this: Babylon has the MOB, which is the mother of all bombs. Gog and Moab, excuse me, Gog and Magog has the FOAB, which is the father of all bombs. So their nuclear weaponry is superior. Okay, it says Persia, which now today's in our time, Persia is known as Iran. Okay, and they Persia says, excuse me, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. To speak about how it's getting ready to be a very large war in Africa right now. You know, a brother uploaded the video. I'm gonna see if I can bring that up. You know, it's a lot going on, man. All right, and call lawyer these prophecies to pass. You know,
Invasion of Niger. Africa is about to face the biggest war in their history. The West African Rapid Reaction Force has been activated. Has come true. ECOWAS president has ordered the Joint General Staff to immediately activate the deployed troops with the aim of restoring constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Or Niger, it depends on what you pronounce it as, but it's really pronounced as Niger. French and Americans start a war that may lead to Africa's biggest war of its history. Doesn't this technically start to intensify war preparations for a total war, speeding up military production? He spoke of major military actions. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has stepped down as the head of North's armed forces and called for war preparation to be stepped up by increasing weapons production and moving to more high schools. North Korea must be expecting a war with South Korea in the very near future. They said the issue of preparations for an all-out war, including acquiring means for stronger strikes to ensure a perfect military preparation in the face of war. Factories to continue mass production of armaments and weapons. Man, this is not sounding good at all. But wait, there's more. Poland has also decided to send 10,000 troops to their border with Belarus. Red alert in Warsaw, deployment of the 15,000 troops in Suwalki and West. Ukraine and Polish general, there is a great panic. Belarus talks about the arrest of agents of an enemy state. So if you didn't know, there was already 1,000 troops on the border. Poland sent 1,000 more troops. Then they sent another 1,000 troops. Then they sent 2,000 troops, and now they're saying 10,000 troops. So add all that up, that would be 15,000 troops. And if you don't believe me, it says it up here, and it also says it down here. Or you could just look up sending 2,000 or 1,000 troops to the border, or 10,000 troops to the border. And then
so that right there, that's wars and rumors of war, man. You know, with them. Actually, so that's war. Let's go to Luke 21. This is Luke 21 and verse 9. Of wars and commotions. You know, that's what we're hearing. Wars and commotions. It's not by and by. Then said he unto them, nation and great and famines and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. So yeah, man, it's going down. You know. This is back in Ezekiel. Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, and the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with you, right? Because Turkey is going to get involved in there too, man. Like I believe it was, may have been last year, may have been earlier this year, but it was Turkey, Russia, and Iran pretty much having a meeting together, man. Verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself thou and all thy company, currency to rival that of the USD. Well, simultaneously over here, so we that this shit is collapsing, man. Okay. Then we also have the receipts. Like Jake would say. Now check this out. This is or declining precipitously. Number 2, so it is deeply alarming that truck freight volume and spending that trucking company Yellow laid off 30,000 employees, perhaps maybe more. They falsified the numbers and doctored them up, and also those people that have been working there for 10 to 1 to 3 decades up to 30 years have lost their pension just like that, gone. Scam. The latest U.S. Bank Freight Payment Index and revealed spending by shippers dropped 10.9% compared to the second quarter of 2022. A statement from the Minneapolis-based bank. Employment is supposed to be the bright spot for the economy, but the latest employment report shows that the U.S. actually lost 185,000 full-time jobs last month. Okay, so that means in the year 2023, the hopeful year that all these prophecies come to pass, the U.S. lost almost 600,000 no work for Egypt. Midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof as a drunken man, branch or rush may do. Okay, these companies don't have any money; they're going bankrupt. They can't afford to pay out the pension, the ROAs that they've been having you pay into and matching. Okay, so nothing's looking good for this place, man. Crazy right now, but you're gonna seeing a lot of brothers post, even a lot of news articles of women unaliving their own children, man. In Lamentations, Jeremiah spoke about that. man. Verse 2. Excuse me, 3 says, even the daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the sucking child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask bread, and no man give it to them. Yeah. They that feed delicate are destitute. They that were brought up into the scarlet, the out of my will jump down because that famine is coming. Excuse me, I'm gonna read 7. It says, hunger and the purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. The Israelites were white. Verse 8. Their vices is blacker than a coal. They're not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered due to what? Extreme starvation, man. You know, and you know, I believe you can go up to 3 days without water. You know, maybe up to 3 weeks without food. Or maybe the Lord can make you has to be feared. You know, it says they that be slain with the sword are better than, you know, because a lot of people is they won't be able to afford the food, and that's going to lead to extreme crime and desperation, and even lead to the shame of people eating their own children or people eating children. You know, it says, for these pine away stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. Verse 10. The hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. To sodden means to cook. If you want an example of that, you can go to 2 Kings, the 2nd. They were of my people. So history repeats itself, man. And the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, the children were the meat, meaning they were using the children to sustain themselves, meaning they ate the kids, even during the siege of Samaria. Okay, so guess what? That's going to come back upon this place, man. Which is why YAHWASHI told those women, the days will come when they say, "Blessed be the barren." You know. Back in this article, it says food prices are crazy high right now, but they will soon go a lot higher. Over the past few years, we have seen food prices before. Unfortunately, that is just the beginning. Global food supplies are getting tighter, and meanwhile, global demand for food continues to increase. For decades, many among the elite were optimistic that someday we will be able to eliminate global hunger completely because tremendous progress was being made. Then, right around 2015, things started to reverse in the wrong direction, according to the UN. 2.4 billion people did not have enough food to eat last year, and 900 million of them were facing food insecurity. Those numbers will almost certainly go even higher this year to get the food that they need to feed their populations. It says, for example, just consider what is happening to the price of rice, man. Right? It says more than half of the rice imports in around 42 countries originate from India, And in many African nations, India's market share in rice imports surpasses 80%, according to the IFPRI, and top consuming countries in Asia, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Indonesia, Sri Lanka. The share of the rice consumption at total calorie intake in the day ranges from 40% to 67%. Now that India has severely restricted rice exports, what are those nations going to do? You know, so we're in times of extreme evil, perilous times, as it says in I believe it's Peter's. You know, in the last days, perilous times shall come. Scriptures also says that the days are evil. Got one article from Zero Hedge. It says 9 signs that the U.S. consumer is about to break. When the U.S. consumer is in a healthy financial shape, the outlook for the U.S. economy is generally positive. But just like we witnessed prior to the Great Recession of 08 and 09, when the U.S. consumer is not in healthy financial shape, bad things tend to happen. Unfortunately, the numbers are telling us that debt levels are soaring, delinquency rates are rising, and tens of millions of U.S. citizens are just barely scraping by from month to month. Number one, it says after adjusting for inflation and taxes, household income in the U.S. has fallen 9.9% since April 2020. On the inflation issue, household income adjusted for inflation and taxes is running some 9.1% below SMB nickel securities. Number two, credit card debt has surpassed the $1 trillion mark for the first time ever, as struggling American households increasingly turn to credit cards to get by from month to month. So it's over for this place, man. You know, people are struggling, and things is just going to get, because it's going to increasingly get worse and worse, man. Violence in the streets, which there's already violence in the streets, okay, until it collapses, okay, because the goal is to bring in that rice device, you know. This is the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 1. Weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. All right, this dollar is worthless, man. Okay, and even if you are stocking gold and silver, you know, if you don't have the protection of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM, if you're not part of the elect, most I don't have his angels as a camping around you, it ain't gonna matter. Okay, it says your gold, and it don't matter how much guns and ammo you're stocking either, right? It says your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and ye shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. You have heaped together treasure together for the last days. Verse 4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, and that's the mostly our people, because we're the working class, you know, slaves, if you will, all right, which is of you kept back by fraud. They take taxes out, Social Security, and all these different things. They take out your check before you even get it, you know, if you get it. Some of us get paid semi-monthly or bi-weekly, man, you know, which is of kept back by fraud, cry, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, which means the Lord of armies. Where you could precept that with Job. All right, because scripture says it's going to come. Now, wicked means laborer or worker, which again goes into the Israelites. This is the book of Job, chapter 22 and verse 19. Because he had oppressed and had forsaken the poor, because he had violently taken away a house which he built not, and that's how they get America. That's how they get every land that they currently dwell in. They surely shall his belly, he shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods in the fullness of his sufficiency, right? Pretty much while he's race device. He shall be in straits. Straits is a position of difficulty. Okay. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now that wicked doesn't apply to the wicked as in definition of that word. It means laborer or worker. Okay, meaning the Most High is gonna allow these, everyday working class people, they're gonna snap. All right, and they're gonna go at Esau. Yeah, I'm just gonna play one more video. Then I'm gonna end it. Lord willing, I could figure out, something for my live stream, man. Because this is hindering,
Everybody who got a business, everybody who is an owner of something, barbers, washing mat, car mats, grocery stores, dollar stores, any small business, big business, it's affiliated with the paper dollar. And the paper dollar has no value. It has no worth. Because America was a whore. America was greedy. America put the people under the bus. We will feel the pain of what America did. They stole everything. They killed and killed and killed for power, control, and money. And now that money has no value. And the continents and other countries do not want to affiliate with a worthless piece of paper. Them dominating and killing everybody, owing everybody. So y'all with your businesses, you barbers, anybody who got a business, nail salons, saunas, the malls, everybody is going to feel the wrath. What our message is, we have to get together. We have to unite. We have to understand and understand that we are going to need each other, because the paper money will not get us anywhere, because it won't have any value. And this is where the powers will try to take our power, because we will need to survive. And until we unite and make sure everybody is okay no matter what color, a lot of people will take the mark of the beast, the chip.
because, So you even got, which that's funny, because you even have random people, which she probably knows she's an Israelite. She probably watched Great Mills, so I don't know. But she identifies the MOTB with the rights device. You see, so just wanted to bring that out, because sometimes the Lord have be putting the spirit on people to make great points and to further impact on what the prophets are or saying, but yeah, just wanted to bring that out. Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto YAHAWAH BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI BAHASHAM, or QADASH. Double honors unto our apostles and elders with great millstone. Shalom to the elect.